close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
I'm not an emotional person like that.
I'm not as well, but I cry. I do cry.
Gosh,
I do. No.
I'll be telling you.
No. Like, if you see me, I'm sure that's why you probably invited us here. If you see us, you probably think we have it all figured out. Exactly.
Gangster.
But people that are very close, they've seen us cry. Like, I cry just watching her walk down the aisle. I just cry. I don't want people
because
to
we
be...
also don't have the...
We don't have...
No, you know what? We hug. We can be there for each other. We can be...
Yes, we do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
But this whole...
Mushy, and like, there are people that are very...
I'm like, Shafi, let's go
exactly.
breakfast and stuff. Let's talk, let's laugh about it. And
20 minutes and then the next thing is
Yeah.
So we move.
We don't like to stay in a sad story moment.
Thanks to the crew again. So welcome to a special episode. So our guests were like, we should be the top 5 guests on this panel.
As we should.
They're actually the first female cast or guests.
Of course.
So you're actually the first female guests.
Thank you.
So obviously you're wondering how you came up here. So one thing which happened is the recommendations in terms of which ladies can we invite, and there were names being thrown around and your name stood out in terms of being at Living Word Tabernacle. Most of the girls were like, you know what, please bring Paida, bring Vanessa. I don't go out tower. So, and there was this term, no, this big girls no life. Somebody literally said
big girls no life.
Like, this big girls no life. They actually know about life. And then I was like, what does big girls mean? And she never explained. But then, welcome again. Thank you so much. So I'll let you guys do your introductions because many people are already expecting to have you guys being a part of an episode, which is why we had the bigger brother look out and go like, did you talk to them? And so we're glad that you actually accepted our invitation. So I'll let you guys do your own introductions. Yeah.
All right. No, thank you. Thank you for inviting us. To be honest, such an honor to be selected, right, V?
Yes. I'm excited, but now I'm nervous because the big girl, no life statement. But yeah, it's okay.
And also hearing that we're the first ladies here.
Yeah.
It's like, yeesh, guys, okay, what a challenge. But all the same, my name is Patience Paida Marova. I'm the big girl, like you said. I'm not going to talk about my age here, but I work at Hyundai Zimbabwe. Coming in as a big sister as well. Born in a family of 3. And yeah, I'm a mid-child in the family of 3. So we're all girls, by the way. So you can almost, you guys are expecting us to be girly, but
she's not.
But I don't think I'm there. So yeah, that's me. That's Patience Paida Moyo for you. I like being called Paida. So mostly because of the meaning behind it. So yeah, that's pretty much Patience. So yeah.
Yeah, I think she said thank you already, and we're honored to be here. Thank you very much. I'm Vanessa Makamba. I'm still not married. Probably wondering. Anyway, I come from a family of 5, and I'm the last born. I'm sure you can't tell. You can't tell, not at all, right?
Yes.
Yeah, never. I work for 5 at Animal Health. I'm an accountant. And I am a member here at Living Word Tabernacle, part of the praise and worship team. And I am the girls' leader, big sister, like what she said. So yeah, we're honored to be here. Yeah, we're also learning. We don't know life as much as they think we do. Trust me, we're also trying to figure it out. But yeah, one day at a time. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. So when the scripts were done, which we shared with you, Paida was still Paida, not yet Mrs. Marova, which is why they were never changed in terms of the titling there. And there were many topics thrown around to say, what can we need someone who's a female to actually discuss certain things, which other girls would also actually appreciate. Because it then seemed like we're just a boys' podcast, or it's us boys and then the elderly guys within church, or just the media crew alone. And then this topic surrounding pain was something which most females were like, okay, they don't know how to go around it, maybe because they are younger, or something which they are afraid if it's to happen, how they can then tackle it. Coincidentally, it's a topic which you guys are going to be discussing with us today.
Okay.
No filters. You can share as much as you want.
No filters.
No filters.
Okay.
No filters. So, the name of the podcast, the Brethren and Broz Podcast. So, at first, we were like, okay, we need a good name for a Christian podcast, something which is faith-based.
Mm-hmm.
And there were many names like Truth Podcast, like Living Word Podcast. And they were like, you know what, no, we have these conversations already as church members or friends. We just brethren, all of us. So
Definitely.
ideally now, we're not just making what we discuss within our own spaces, we are the people can partake in. So which is why it's called The Brethren and Broz Podcast. So as ladies, you're part of The Brethren. So you're not left out.
I was actually about to say, you know what? The Brethren and Broz. And then there's Paida and V. It's like a gangster or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I'm okay. Can be my bro. It's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
All right.
Pain. I know, you know what? I know because the girls probably, I don't know if they are the ones that requested that, but I know having us here, you probably think the only pain that we're going to talk about is heartbreaks, right? It's typical of that. But because life brings so much, so much more, apart from just heartbreaks from like relationships, just like romantic relationships. It can just even be family relationships and friendships even.
Yeah.
And then losing loved ones, frustrations at work, at school. We've all gone through that. Trust me. You see us sitting here, but every single day we are fighting battles that people don't even know. But we have to show up. That's the thing. You still have to show up. I know it's not...
It sounds cliche.
Yeah, I know.
Austin say, what does show up mean when, let's say, you want your pain to be validated, and someone is saying just show up? It's like it's a disconnect.
Yeah.
Just say show up, and then I'm like, validate my pain first.
You know what? Okay. Before I respond to that, I was actually just going to support what she said to say. So when she's saying you need to show up, it's, you know what? Regardless of whatever you're going through, you still need to be the patient that stands and, you know what, be there. So yes, the pain is there, but we're not giving up. So that's where we're coming at. The pain is there, but we're not giving up. Come tomorrow, we're showing up. Give us a presentation. We're doing it. I'm tired today because whatever life has. Tomorrow I'm showing up for work because, tomorrow I'm showing up for church because it's Sunday. And Monday morning, 8 o'clock, I could be in a board meeting and I have to show up regardless of what I have.
happened.
So that's what she means to say, you know what, yes, life has everything, but showing up doesn't mean we're masking the pain. That's where the disconnect is. Yeah, showing up is, you know what, you're moving. Life goes on. Yeah.
You mentioned not masking the pain, and we know most ladies like to wear makeup, whether as an aesthetic or whether as part of, I think, dressing up. But then now when you're saying you're not masking the pain, how then can you not mask the pain in terms of you trying to show up? Like, you can fake it. How can you differentiate faking it and then saying, you know what, I'm showing up today even though I'm trying to address other things in my life?
Okay, you know what? I don't think it's like, okay, with this whole masking the pain, we are vulnerable beings, but you're not vulnerable in public. You're not vulnerable everywhere. So right now we're sitting. V knows I was crying last night. V knows I failed my exams. V knows, you know what, I'm going through something, but you don't know it. That's what we mean showing up.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm faking or I'm masking it, but we can't be vulnerable in public. Like, it's not like, oh, guys, I'm crying. This is what I'm going through. And it's all over me. It's written all over my face. It's not that.
Okay.
There's like a safe space to open up, to talk about our issues and, you know,
And then
to
actually
relieve
discuss
that
them.
pain. Yes.
Okay.
Remember, okay, I think it was you sometime back at our soul group where you spoke about be kind to people because you don't know what they're going through, right? And the thing is, there are people that are close to you. They know probably because you're talking to them on a daily and you're walking that path together. But you've invited me to a podcast. Why not show up?
Okay.
You know, you don't know what I'm going through, but I'll come.
You're there.
You know, I'll come, I'll live here. We speak about whatever we're going through. We laugh it out, we cry, and we dust ourselves and we keep going. Because that's life.
That's life.
But it's easier said than done. I know. It's easier said than done. You don't wake up. Sometimes you wake up and you don't want to do anything. Sometimes you even don't feel like praying.
Yeah.
You know, but those are the times where you're like, God, take control, you know, and it's one day at a time, you know, and trust me, we've all gone through these things that we're talking about. Trust me,
Everything.
we've all gone through these
You
things
know what?
that
I'm
we're
going to
talking
give an
about.
example. You in praise and worship. Hardly someone's just singing. You're like, no, wait. This person is way closer to God. Definitely they're God's favorite. They are God's favorite. Us maybe trick my periphery. You know, we're like, get the back.
I know. But you know what? I also came here when I came to Living Word, fam, to tell you, when I came to Living Word, I think for a whole year, I was also in the
Peripherals.
and I'm not happy about that. I should have probably just, you know,
From the
because I
start.
think sometimes you want to also understand the environment and, you know, and then I was speaking to, I think one of the first people that I started speaking to was Nyash. It's not easy.
Okay.
Getting into, like, you know,
A new space.
into a new space and just getting there and introducing yourself. It's not. So I just want people to also understand that maybe when they see me standing there, they think, she's got it all figured out. No, I don't. Yeah. And then I started speaking to Nyash. And the first thing that he actually said to me was like, you look like someone who sings.
Okay.
And I found that very weird because I was like, I don't know you exactly.
And as you look like. He hasn't had your voice. It's like you look like.
Like how?
Yeah. But with time, and then I eventually joined praise and worship. It was still not easy. You get there also. People don't understand that when you get to a space, allow things to, you know, what's the word?
It goes smoothly, naturally.
Yeah.
Things have a way of taking natural
Exactly.
shape.
You just don't have to get there and be like, yeah, it's me, it's Vanessa, you know. Understand what's happening. Get yourself into the groove, you know. Understand what's happening. And then eventually getting there, you get to know people. You get to know. I sing, yes, but I'm not like a public singer
Like
and
artist.
an artist to that extent, like on
Okay.
stage. This is my first time singing and at this stage.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Never in school.
no, like, you know
I'll
how in school we're all just singing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, honestly.
Everybody say
And we're in
yeah.
choir and we're all doing
And
that.
when I'm in the shower, I mean,
Yes.
I'm the best
The
singer.
best
Of
singer.
course.
Yes.
Your Grammys, you putting out the best Grammy album.
She is even better than me. She is. She's such a singer. So, but you know, yeah, this was my first time also. So I also panic. I also have the fears. I also, you know, I'm thinking.
You're very much human in as much as you
Very
decide to then
much.
say,
And I'm going through all those feelings. Even when you see me on stage, when I'm asked to sing, I'm going through all those feelings that people go through when they are starting something, when they have to do something. So it's only human, but you still have to just do it. Yeah.
is this your first podcast? Both of you.
Yeah.
Really? Hey, guys. This is their first podcast. So they're going to be bigger in life. They're going to be like, we started off at
Yeah.
Brandon and Broz
Yeah.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's something which Paida mentioned about safe spaces. Obviously, people look at identifying if who I am is a safe space, but then they really reflect to say, am I a person who can be a safe space? Is this something you can share to say, how can someone be a better safe space or accommodative to then discuss other very intricate issues which someone could be having?
Okay. I think V mentioned earlier, I always share this to say, first things first, the world deserves kindness. Just to extend a gesture of love, a hug, a smile, that alone creates a platform for safe spaces.
Okay.
So you see, it's not like someone came up to me and be like, and was like, this is Vanessa. Vanessa, be patient. And patience, feel free to talk about anything. You know, you guys hold hands, walk. No. It's the kindness. It's the little gestures. It's the, you know.
Like today, guys, we got some very good refreshments.
Oh, yeah.
Courtesy of our guests.
Oh, yes.
Guys,
Oh, yes.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
All right. So it's just one of those things to say, you know, we grow into it. You have to just have good intentions regarding the next person. So if you're a kind person, and I come to you and in my most vulnerable moment, best believe you want to help me out of it, because it's kindness. And kindness has to do, then goes along with love, with caring. It's a whole chain of good things. So it's one of those, you know what, once you're a kind person, I come to you, you also want to create a safe space for me. You want to protect me. You want to make me feel better. Already. So like I said, it's the small little gestures.
Yeah.
It's just extending and not wanting to receive. So that's how you can see that someone is actually a safe space.
A safe space.
They're not a receiver.
Yeah.
They're a giver, naturally, to say you're not giving material things. It's okay, oh no, you can come and sit. You already know. Okay, why did you send for me? You're questioning that already.
True,
but you see, it's coming from it's coming from a place of love.
Okay.
You can see it's coming from somewhere. So that alone now will make you see that, you know, you get comfortable. You start getting comfortable slowly to say, okay, oh, she gave me a seat. All right. Oh, she held my hand. Oh, okay. When I fell, she was the one to lift me up.
Yeah.
I could just pour. Naturally say, you know what, just when you lifted me up, this is what I was going through. You know, the next thing, she already knows my background. She already knows where I work. She already knows, you know, I actually don't have fuel. She knows, you know, we get to pour because of her pouring herself out. You know, so.
Yeah. I think we should create more spaces where people, you know, they ask the question, do you need help? Are you okay? You know, from time to time. I think half the time people don't ask. I know a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to ask because I don't know. Maybe she might not. But what if she?
What if she does?
Yeah, what if she does?
try?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm an overthinker. I'm an overthinker. And I was talking to someone and I was just I will plan this whole thing before I even show up. Yeah, exactly. And I was talking to someone and then that person said, what do you overthink about? Like, what is it that you're overthinking about? And I said, what if things go bad? What if, you know, things don't go according to what I've planned, whatever? And then they said, what if they go according to, you know?
It's the opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Have you ever thought of what if, like, good comes out of it?
True,
Yeah.
true.
To be honest, it has actually helped me a lot lately because every time I think of something, I'm like, okay, let me just go for it because it might just turn out okay.
To be the best.
So,
what if?
yeah, what if?
What if it's both sides?
Yeah.
True. Looking at that from a very honest view.
Honesty. Honesty.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
From a very honest individual view. Pain, just experiencing it, is it a sign that God might not be part of your journey in life? We can look at many examples in the Bible.
Yes.
So many.
David lost a son. Job had his own calamities. Is pain a sign that maybe God is not with me?
Okay, I'll respond to that. Just to share a little experience. Trying to get it more real. To say, you know what? You won't know. I lost my second parent at 8 until I tell you. Right. Like I said, people only know the girl that drives. People know the girl that, you know, the girl that got married. People only look at the positives. The girl that, you know, the girl with an iPhone, the girl who's working, the girl who contributes, you know. But so that being said, there's a lot going on behind us. But look what God does in our lives, regardless of all that we've been through. So, you know, when I'm praying, I usually say, I'll say it in Shona. Murimwari vakatida tisingakuziveyo. Munotidana nhasi ende muchatidane kusingapere. What that means is, you know what? At 8, no one would know you're losing both parents by then. But it just shows, you know what? Since then, God has been there. I mean, growing up as an orphan, I'd like to, you know, thank my uncles, my aunts, everyone who showed up. I never lacked fees. I never lacked food. I never lacked clothes. But there's that emotional part of you that's lacking since then. You know, but through it all, God has still showed up for me. If I were to if we had, 2 hours, we need to make this
Yeah, man.
I was going
Too
to break it
long,
all
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
I was going to break it all down. Say, you know what, guys, when I was
At
trying
10,
to
at 11.
and then at 13, and when I passed my O levels, and when I went to university and I graduated, all that. That's God showing up,
That's true.
despite an ugly losing both parents.
That's true. Yeah.
So that's a painful road to travel, but I still see God
Still see God through
every
that as
single
well.
day. So when I look back, all I see is God, because sometimes you can't actually put the pieces together. The puzzle won't make sense
It won't.
if I try to actually add 1 and 2 together. That's why people didn't say 1 + 2 = 3, which is a synergy when God is in it, because you know what, you really can't explain how God has been so good. So then with that example, can we really say God is not
That
there
God is not there
in such a painful space? We can't. He's a faithful God.
That's a very strong personal reflection, which you shared with us. Thank you for that. Because I think in most cases, people are like, you know what, we try to categorize things to say, my pain is more or your pain is less. And what you shared is very, very, very much significant in that God still someone was visible to you in your life. And you can still go back and say, you know what, I see God. And to also then say, you know what, they still believe in him even after all of that is a greater thing, because most people, they're like, you know what, I believed, then I thought otherwise. But then to continuously and consistently still believe in God and see God is something we praise God for sure. Yeah. I don't know if Vanessa has something to share in terms of that as well.
Now, you see, this is the emotional moment that we're talking about. Now I need tissue now. I need tissue. But like what you said, I think it's inevitable that we just live life, everything is okay. And because sometimes God wants us to, gain that confidence. We tend to relax when things are fine. People tend to relax, and you think, you know what, I've got this figured out. And then now you're trusting your own understanding and not trusting who? God.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, I'm not saying that he only does it so that you can come back to him, but I'm saying that nudge is there, in life. You needed to just refocus, gain that confidence in God, that we remain focused in whatever that we're doing. I think, like what you said in the Bible, there's so many stories of people that went through hardships. I don't know why would think it makes us so special, in this generation. Yet those people were very close. You know, they were very close
They were
to
hearing
God.
God. They're like, God
Exactly.
said.
And us here, we have our flaws. You actually know, you come to church and you're like, God, today I'm not myself, or this is not, I'm not okay, or I've done this. You know, know it. But those people, even when they had not done anything wrong, you know, but things would happen to them. And what I like is every story has an ending that shows that God always shows up for us. So I think every single day we just need to remember that it's not that he's not there. The Bible says he's close to the brokenhearted. So he knows that you'll be broken at a point in time. But I'm there, you know, to just get you back up and we keep going. So I also always like to just say, let go and let God, because at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do if he's not there. He just needs to be there for you to just keep going.
I'm going to put in a scenario. We have the story of Hannah, right? Hannah, she's consistently going to give her offerings to God.
Yes.
And she has Peninnah in the same house.
Yes.
Peninnah's got kids running around, and Hannah, there's nothing. And we're saying, let go and let God. Right?
Yes.
Because she kept on praying to God. But then you could still hear how she was frustrated. That even the husband was even saying, you know what, I give you everything, and I'm more than children. To just maybe, if you put yourself in Hannah's shoes, what could have been maybe something that could have made you still think, you know what, maybe God could do it for me as well? Because looking at Sarah, for example, she had 90 plus years. Again, nothing. Because I think we go back to the stories to then try and see how God worked in their lives. And maybe for a moment, if you to be in either Hannah's or Sarah's shoes, what would be in your mind before the breakthrough? What do you think would be in your mind?
You know what? What would be in our mind? I'll speak from a current perspective to say, over the years, we've learned that the fact that I'm not born on the same day as Vanessa means we are not celebrating our birthday on the same day, which might also mean we are not celebrating buying our cars on the same day. Right. So like your Peninnah and Hannah situation, is that such a situation whereby you're looking at, you know what, it's probably V who has it figured out and you're in that space and you're also trying to figure it out, but you're actually not sure what you're getting wrong because you seem to also be doing everything right.
True.
You know, so having been in that situation, for me, it's take it one day at a time and your turn will come. There's a statement that says, you know what, clap, your turn will come. You know, it's not prize giving day for everyone. Then why is it a prize giving day? Why didn't we just get our prizes from our classes and, you know, left? It means, you know what, just this year, today, someone else is winning, but tomorrow, we're clapping for the next person because yesterday we're clapping for you. You get what I mean? Like it's
my turn will also come.
My turn will also come. It's a case of, you know what, just wait on God. As painful as it is, like you said, we get frustrated. And I think V mentioned it earlier to say, sometimes you don't know how to pray. When you're in that situation, you don't know how to pray. You just don't know. You're asking God, and you're asking, how am I praying? I mean, am I doing something wrong? I'm trying to live right. Am I not saying the right words? I've also gone to the outreach with others. I mean, I participate in youth. You'll be saying I sing every Sunday. I mean, I'm making other people pray. So where am I getting it wrong? But the answer there is nothing wrong. It's just an issue of timing. And what makes us want it today is because we're giving ourselves our own timelines. You said, who said I'm going to get the car today? Today is V's turn. Mine is coming. But the thing is asking God to say, that's where even the Lord's Prayer says, let your will be done.
Yeah.
But we like to figure things out ourselves. So that's the catch.
Wait your turn.
Yeah. Wait your turn. I think, like what you said, Sarah, and I also think of Job, you know. I think the human nature in us, people like to say a lot of things, you know, no, let's do this. You have so many ideas, People want to try
True.
out so many ideas. You know, with his friends, they were now telling him, curse God.
Yes.
You know, because no one didn't understand.
Mm.
Because they saw him as a believer who had everything right. And the
Mm.
Bible even says that. But life happened. Yeah. So when life happens at the end of the day, I just like the fact that he remembered that, you know what, I didn't want to have everything like when I was born. So it's grace,
Yeah.
you know, that we're sitting here and having a conversation with you. It's all grace that, you know, we can afford to be doing what we're doing today. That's what people then forget. Every time that, like, I've always wondered why, like, growing up, my parents would always say, like, if you have it, just do it.
Okay.
That's what, like, my mom and my dad always say. Like, if you can afford to do it, do it.
Do it.
Don't look what you're doing. And I've seen them doing stuff for people or going places like so fun. You're like, and I'm going, you know. But I've actually now that today, you know, when I look back, I'm like, this is why probably they are where they are today. You know, that blessing, that you know, that grace has carried them that far because of just being able to do. If you can, just do it for the next person. Like, there's no harm, you know. But I know, Kuti, human nature, we start thinking a lot, you know, why should I? Or maybe we should do this. Let's try this. In our own, exactly. In our own power, let's do this. And then it fails. And then you come back again to the same,
There's something which you both have shared about being kind and helping people, doing something even if you're not in the best space yourself. And I think it's something which could be new to others because people are used to just receiving
100%.
you know. And was it like a culture which you got to learn? Was it from your own experiences to be in a space where you can be saying, I'm happy to still be kind even if I'm not in the best space myself today? How did you get to be in that place yourselves?
All right. So my experience, where this came from, when I was in uni, attachment period, I worked at PSB. Fast forward, I met a lady, her name is Martha. Now she owns a Flossy Homes in Blawayo. She now does, you know, a lot of things. But Martha used to look out for me, like randomly. This is post-attachment. I went to Nust. So I was back in Blawayo. She's in Blawayo. She just randomly called me, Patience, let's go for lunch. And you're just there as a student. You are having lunch and you're wondering who's going to foot the bill because I don't have the money. And then on our way home, she's got a plastic with just, you know, the necessary things a girl would need. A packet of pads, a perfume, the little things, you know, every girl would need. And at some point now, I then asked her, because she kept doing it. It was like she just never stopped. Even now, if I go to Blawayo, I go to a shop to support. But she then calls to say, no, can you give Patience a bedspread? Can you give her, you know? And I'm there like, so I asked her to say, Martha, why? Like, why? Why do you do this? And then she's the one who told me to say, the world deserves kindness. So there's no secret behind it. It's just the world. So like what V said, you don't know what the next person is going through.
True.
So that smile, that hug.
Just
So that was also my drive to say, I founded since 2021. I started what we call Pads and Smiles.
Oh, okay.
So Pads and Smiles is a space where we collect and donate pads.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to mention something about the value to give when you also don't have it all figured out. When we buy pads in bulk, I think V bought pads recently. It comes down to about 50 cents per packet. Do you not have $1 to spend?
I do.
You do,
I was going to say, actually, the gents as well need to be
part and parcel of
part
it.
of this and active, very active.
Very active.
Because we have sisters, we have wives, with mothers.
Exactly.
I think we need to be more active.
Yes.
Because I've heard of period poverty.
Yes.
But
and it's a real thing.
But then I think sometimes these guys will like detach. You're like, okay, and period. You know what?
It's a girl's thing.
People
It's a
don't
girl's
like to talk
thing.
about it.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Even if you're not actively doing it, then give the support to those that are doing it. There's always someone having a period drive. And I'm glad even the Living Word Tabernacle girls are now doing it continuously.
Yeah.
So it's a space where we can also just be,
True.
So why I was mentioning 50 cents per packet is to say I could just go to Nando's and spend 5.
True.
Got a chicken and
True.
chips. Then I'm like, no, it's not so nice. Then I leave it as well.
True.
I don't finish it. Then I'm like, no, I guess I'm gonna like it, or no, I didn't like it, or I've lost $5, but that's 10 packets of pads
True.
when we're buying in bulk. So it's not about how much you have when it
Yeah.
comes to kindness. It's about the gesture that's coming from you to say, I need to spread, I need to lend a hand, I need to give. So it's about what's inside you. So if you notice that, if you realize that it's about the gesture, you can share what you're eating already. You're not supposed
That's
to buy me a
true.
box of chicken in. We can
We
share
can
from
share
your
together.
box.
Yeah.
You see. So that way now, you really realize, it's not about the money. It's
That's
not about the
true.
amounts. It's
That's
about
true.
you and what's
That's
in
true.
you. So
What's in your heart?
what's in your heart?
Yeah. So you guys should join the pad drive
Yeah.
that we're doing here. So
When is it? Because we need to even share. Is there a
it's-
link or anything?
it's I think
gonna
we're
need to
going to
mention.
I think we're actually going to create that. Thanks to
Okay.
her actually.
Okay.
Yeah. The idea. Thanks to pads and smiles.
Oh,
Yeah, people
beautiful.
obviously think about me. I thought it for myself. But thanks to her, you see friendships, yeah?
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? We should
you.
probably as well do it here at church,
true.
and then asking people to bring. Yeah, you know how it is. People might not bring. Then we decided, you can even contribute money. Then we can go and buy, like what she's saying. It goes a long way. We took them to the crusade. It goes a long way. And people really need help. But people don't know. Yeah. Like what we're saying, you don't know what I'm going through. Right? But you can just come and say, you know what, I just thought maybe you need this. And you have no idea, or maybe that person was actually waiting for you to come and, just be nice. So I think we just need more people to be nice, more people to extend a hand, more people to show up and just, be friendly to the person next to you.
Your friend and kind.
Yeah.
You mentioned the crusades, and we had blankets.
Well,
And we're now
exactly.
in winter.
Yeah.
I remember when we got to Moreo, I was like, this is a very hot place. Then at night, the temperatures drop
Yes.
significantly.
Yes.
Then I was like, imagine people will live here. And we're sleeping in tents. You can imagine sleeping on the floors as well. Like, imagine in that state, in the cold. So,
You don't have.
and you don't have, you literally have got maybe a mate or a pasano and one blanket. And it's a whole family as well.
Exactly.
And when we're making announcements here at churches, just, donate. There isn't the actual impact. You can't see it.
Yeah.
You can't.
You will sit it there. It's just an announcement. You're like, okay, cool. And I'm a blanket.
Hey,
That's the first reaction.
exactly,
That's
yeah.
actually
Hey.
blanket.
Uh,
Good idea, it's a blanket, but
Yeah.
then it's
Like
very
someone
different.
who's down there and they don't even know where to start from.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think when you actually go on ground and you're there, that's why like I always encourage people, just go out when you're asked to go somewhere, just go so you can experience it by yourself. You don't have to hear from other people. You're like blanket. But like when you actually go on ground and you see those kids and the elderly and you're like, yeah, it's real. It's happening. A lot of people don't have that reality. Yeah.
And like what we mentioned to say, you don't know what the next person is going through. Let's create the spaces. We think Patience has it figured out, but maybe she hasn't eaten since last week.
She's just fine and
God forbid.
After Patience does
Jaga
now, remember,
woman.
She hasn't eaten. So how about, Patience, are you home?
Yeah.
Maybe rock up, That's how you figure out some of those situations.
Exactly.
So my point is we think people have it all figured out. Like you're saying, you think, blanket. Because you naturally just have it. And when you need it, when it's torn, it's replaced. And, when you need the next jacket, you're buying it.
You're buying it again.
But someone else doesn't have that space. Someone else doesn't have that privilege. That's why we always did reflect to say we're not where we are because we have it all figured out.
Yeah.
But it's God.
But
We
it's
need to constantly remind ourselves that it's God.
That is God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into our faith statement segment. So we have a segment where we allow our guests to share a statement, which they are living with presently. In this case, which helps you to stay focused in terms of your purpose in life? What's that one statement which, when anything is happening, you're like, you can go back to it just subconsciously as a motivating statement to keep going on?
Okay, I mentioned earlier that I'm an overthinker. I'm praying about it, guys. Help me pray about
I'll
it.
help you, Fee, because hey, no, but we don't need
Or maybe not your
help.
critical thing. Maybe you use critical skills at your workplace. Maybe.
I know.
But yeah.
It's not that bad, but I'm just saying, like, I map out a whole scenario and like, okay. So because I'm an overthinker, and you know, I've just now learned, or to just let go. I think I've already mentioned it. Let go and let God. But it's supported by the chapter in Psalms 121, which says, I look up to the hills. Where does my help come from? Because my help comes from the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. So basically everything that is happening, even if I try and map out how I want things done in everything, it still comes back to me believing in God and him then making my path straight and just showing up for me. Because the Bible also says many make plans, but God he guides us and he directs us. So at the end of the day, even if I plan and we do whatever we need to do, and which is not a bad thing, of course, but we still need to submit those plans to God, because he then just shows us, okay, this is how it's supposed to happen, this is how we're supposed to go, and this is where we are. So I think I would just stick to let go and let God.
Let go
and let
God. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Clark it, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Oh yeah, thank you so much.
Sure, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Let go and let God.
Yeah.
So mine comes from Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, which goes to be my favorite verse, to say, trust in the Lord.
Not.
Yeah, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. It then goes to say, remember the Lord in everything you do, and he will direct your path.
Yeah.
So my faith statement would be, trust God.
Yeah.
You need to trust God. I mean, whatever the situation, I'm going to sleep today. I'm trusting God to wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's not by faith, it's not by might, but it's God. So we need to trust him. I'm driving. It's a very nasty road. It's Zimbabwe. There's accidents every second. You need to trust that God is with you. God is carrying you through. You're writing your exams. You've read, you've done your part. But you need to trust that you're in good health to actually be able to write the exam and, pass.
That's
you could read and everything.
Yeah.
Come the day.
Yeah.
You've got a nasty headache in the exam room. A lot is going on. So we need to trust that God has it figured out. God is in control.
True.
Like I said, my prayer goes to say, Marova katida tsatshava ziva. It's I'm a toddler. I don't know God. Vakatotida mwari tsatshava ziva. And he loves us today. Not because we know him. He loves us. God loved us before we knew about him. And so we trust that he's going to love us forevermore. He's going to be with us forever. So he's going to guide every step of the way. So trust God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart.
And lean not.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You sharing your faith statements is something which helps another person to at least have something to be anchored on. Because half the time we have lyrics of songs in our heads, we have got other things. You were a football person, now you're busy thinking who's scoring who. The reality is there needs to be something which you go like, if it's working for Vanessa, God, it can work for me as well.
100%.
Yeah.
Because if someone is saying let go and let God, it should have worked for them. So it can work for me as well.
100%.
I think there's no reason to rewrite things in our lives. If trusting in God has helped Paida to be where she is today, it can also help you reach where you want to be today as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think mostly people try to take note, and they always try to remember what any other guest mentioned in terms of their faith statement. So thank you so much for sharing that. Whilst we're there, I'm going to ask, in terms of you being our guests, I know we're discussing much about purpose and pain. But then there's something about testimonies as well. What could be one testimony you remember in your life where you are like, it is only God? Many things were happening, but then you can go like, it's not me. Even if I had prayed a lot, this is just God doing it. What testimony can you identify or pick out from your own life experiences?
It's not one. You can't have one.
Life is God.
Yeah, this life itself is God. Just having
True,
to go
true.
through certain things. To be honest, you know what? There was a time when, growing up, I'm going to link it because
Okay.
my dad then said it. There was a time like my dad's business burnt, like one of the buildings burnt down.
Okay.
Yeah. So every time when like we get guests and they're talking about business, like I can resonate because it happened to him. And I think I was still in primary. I was still in junior school and I went to school. He said, go to school. I didn't want. I thought I was going to get a day off.
You were
I
like,
think I was
this incident,
as we
it's
should.
mine
We're
too.
pain. We're going through pain, Father. Exactly. So I think I was in grade 6 thereabouts. Yeah. So I went to school and it was such a nightmare. Like I wasn't born and bred in Harare. My parents are based in Karoi. So that's where he had like supermarkets. So one of the supermarkets burnt down. And I went to school. Obviously because people knew, right? It was a nightmare.
Now you
I
receiving
swear.
all those
Exactly. Everyone was
comments and
coming.
statements.
What happened? Oh my gosh. And the thing is, when I went, right, I didn't know like the depth of like the problem because it was in the morning. Obviously, everyone had gone there. Everyone is up and down, whatever, right? And my mom was like, no, he said you should go to school because it was just shopeach, you know. So I'm like, I'm not going to school. Then she said, go to school. So I went. But then now everyone's coming, everything now, like to the extent that my teacher had to actually call me in, sit me down and tell me, it's like everything is burnt down. That's how bad it was.
Like it's not just.
Yes.
It's not just
Yeah, that's how bad it was. Oh, Chemaka. I cried, obviously. But I don't know. This is all happening. I'm in grade 6. This is all happening. And then, but I remember, like, I think a few months later, we managed to get back up. He built whatever. And then he did a ceremony. Every time he would build something, they do a ceremony. My parents do a ceremony of like just thanking God. So they invite like family, friends, and everything like that. And then he did that. And then he actually managed to build like something bigger. So later on in life, having to talk about it now that I'm working and stuff, ever since like I left uni, coming back to Zim, and I've worked, I've not had time where I'm at home, and that's grace. So we're having that conversation, and then my dad is like, do you realize that you have never really like, I don't know what we're talking about, I think a cousin of mine who was looking for a job. Yeah. And then he said, do you see how God has been, you know, in your life ever since like you finished school and, you know, you've never really had to, you know, look for work like that. And a lot of people take that for granted because, you know, you think, you know, I've got connections. No, I don't. I don't have connections. I was also just applying like everyone else and then go to interviews and then get the job. But just having to look at that, you know, and then he's like, when I can't stroke again. You know, now he's saying it, yeah, but this is like, yeah, about what happened. And then jokingly, I also said, me too. But
I was also affected.
I didn't understand it then. But he's like, a lot happened that you guys are now here. And maybe you look back and you're like, but if you remember then,
It was bad.
it was bad. It was that bad that you guys are here. So to be honest, you know, I might not have experienced it like the emotion part of it because I was still young, but having to now listen to him and tell us about it, I really think like it's just God having, you know, been with us and been with me till today. So yeah, but there are a lot of testimonies. I mean, we're not here because we know how to do life. No, it's all God. Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true, Fee. I can also a testimony is the same thing.
Mm.
I remember after uni, you know, the period of waiting for your results.
and then apply.
Yeah, then apply. One of my uncles then invited me over to be a receptionist at his workplace. I remember I was opposite showgrounds, and the receptionist was doing the agri show.
Oh
They-
yeah,
they had a
yeah,
standard
yeah.
agri show. So then he's like, no, just come cover up for a week. Then I went. So while I was covering up for a week, which I never stopped after. After agri show, the lady had to be moved to another department. Then I was a receptionist for a bit until while I was looking for a job. So in that space, working in that space, the accountant then was like, Peshi, you know what? There's this lady of mine we worked with and stuff. I actually didn't stay with her at our cottage. What have you? She started off as a graduate trainee at one of these companies, Peshi. You know, the Cloverleaf Motors. I didn't know about it, by the way. You know, the Cloverleaf Motors, they took her in as a graduate trainee. And yeah, you know, she just rose. She went, she was a graduate trainee. Then now she's some parts manager, what. And I was like, she's just telling me a story. And then, to be honest with you, I was like, Kumota.
Well.
You know, I'd fast forward. I was like, you know what? I had a keen interest. Started looking for these graduate trainee posts, you know, like, hey, I also want to be like. Then this one, I couldn't find any of those graduate trainee posts, by the way. Then this one day, there's one of my friends that runs the Chipo.
Yeah.
She goes like, Peshi, you know what? Vinny wants your number. Vinny was someone she learned with, but I never had a relationship with Vinny.
Okay.
I actually, he wasn't my friend. It's like, Peshi, Vinny kuda number yako, dimupe. And I was like, you know what? Yes, you can go ahead and give him. I mean, I don't know what he wants it for.
Yeah.
Then Vinny was like, Peshi, you know what? I just thought of someone who did marketing. There's her aunt of it who was at Cloverleaf Motors.
Cloverleaf foot.
You know, and she was in HR and was looking for graduate trainees.
Yeah.
I was like, Cloverleaf graduate trainees. What are the odds? You know, Vinny's not my friend. This lady of it was just talking about it.
And they're not even
months
connected.
ago. They're not connected at all.
Wow.
Right. Then I was like, yes, Vin, I'm looking for a job and stuff. Now our transcripts are out and stuff. But we hadn't graduated.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, just apply. Then I applied. Then I was called for psychometric test. And I was like,
those ones.
And I hadn't even done a psychometric test.
I
in my
don't
life.
like those. Let's be clear.
Those ones.
We don't like
They'll
those.
test your patience.
I'll tell you this. I got there, did the psychometrics, got home and slept from 2. And did it from 2 p.m. And did it. Slept from 2 until evening because of those tests. Was my first one was nasty. Fast forward, called in for an interview. Guess what? Patients got the job at Cloverleaf.
The same place you were like, Remota.
Someone was talking about it and, you know, Remota. So sometimes God is there connecting the dots, you know, mapping all these things behind the scenes. And usually we only see the result, but we don't know the behind the scenes. So I did my graduate trainee. Fast forward, I did it and 8 months down the line. So graduate trainee was 2 years. 8 months down the line, a post came. That was in Kwekwe. Parts manager, Kwekwe. And then I was offered that post. Wow. 8 months. But you know what? What then happened? Something happened and I didn't end up going to Kwekwe. I refused. Okay, I didn't refuse. I took the offer for Kwekwe, but then they were like, no, now you need to move to Blawayo. Yeah, and I refused for Blawayo. Then you know what I was told? So you need to resign and leave. Wow, guys. Wow.
Okay,
Then
that's
I'll tell you this.
drastic.
One of the managers I worked with, he was now working at Hande, Zimbabwe, where I am now. I was like, no, you can't let her go. You can bring her to Hande.
Wow.
These are conversations happening behind
your
closed
back. Yeah,
doors.
you don't
I
even
don't.
know.
I'm only knowing about them after. Right. Then I was moved to Hande. That's how I'm now at Hande. And I've been at Hande. So I went to Hande. 6 months down the line, I was marketing officer. After another 8 months, they made me sales and marketing manager. But when I look back now, like I said, that's where the synergy is coming. 1 + 1 is equals to 3.
Definitely equals to
God
3.
is there. There's God in the picture. because
Yeah.
I can't put it all together.
True.
You know, I can't
true,
put it all
true.
together. So then I can just look back and say, this was all God.
Mm,
From someone talking about cloverleaf and I don't even know about it. You know, from Vini, who's not my friend, looking for my number just because, you know what, he just heard of a marketing vacancy. From going to the psychometrics and passing them without having been done any before. You know, from now then working, almost losing your job, being promoted, and it's just
really
Yeah.
God.
it's just really God. You know. So that's one of my biggest testimonies to say, you know what, guys, God does amazing things.
I know one big thing is we have many students who watch the podcast because they enjoy podcasts.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
definitely, I think these stories definitely will motivate,
Yeah.
encourage, and give them
Yeah.
hope to have to say, you know what, God can be in the picture.
Yeah.
Because at times you're like, you know what, maybe I'll see God in our marriage, but then you know what,
Mm.
in your job, in your attachment years,
Yeah.
in your junior school years, like
Especially in the jobs, because we're tested.
In
The jobs.
In the
In
the jobs.
we are
In the 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
Listen, mine is worse because it's a motor industry, male-dominated industry.
Not dominated industry.
Do you know what? Funny story. Let me tell you, like, I think
yeah.
like 2 weeks ago. It's funny because these things happen, right? I was actually laughing with a colleague, and then next minute I turn and both my directors were standing next to me, my FD and my MD. And then there was a client that I think they went bankrupt and like the month before. So we were dealing with them, whatever, just finalizing, making sure their balances and they're going to pay us off, whatever, right? So I turn and my directors are next to me and they're like, oh yeah, that client, do you have enough paperwork for them because now they're saying they can't pay us? I'm like, no, I had a discussion with the owner like 2 weeks, like a month ago, and we agreed everything is set, you know. So she just said she's going to tell us how she's going to be paying us back. And then my MD is like, yeah, we just received a letter from the lawyers. So we want to find out now from like the credit forms, whatever. Do you have, because we have a part where the director takes ownership, like the surety. Do you have had they signed that part? Hey!
And you're like,
Do you? So now I'm not sure because we have other people that have not signed because no one wants to give away their business. So I'm like, so I was like, you know what? Just to say, this is on the spot now. Exactly. So one of them is when said, "Why are you making that face?" I was like, because I'm used to coming to you. Now it's you guys coming to me. So just give me a sec, right? Then I had to go into the filing room. That's where the files were. There was another lady who was filing, another colleague who was filing. So I think she's always laughing about it because I walked in and I was like, Lord, please. Just sign the form for this. I made a quick prayer. That's how it was. And then I started looking for the document, the form, whatever. And then I got the application quickly, you know, and then they had signed. So I'm like, thank you, Lord. Then I took the paper and I went back. And then so as I was walking, I was just nodding to them to say, oh yeah, they signed. Then he's like, they signed? Then he's like, yeah, well done, Phineas. Well done. I was like, thank you, Lord.
Thank you, God. This is
you.
This
Thanks
is
for
God.
coming through.
Like,
It sounds so simple and so easy. And it's like, yeah, you know, but trust me, it's the simplest situations like these where you're like, every time when you're like, Lord, please, he actually does come through.
Yeah, he does.
It's the simplest things like that where you're like, yeah, I need you now. And then he shows up. Yeah, and it sounds like a silly story, but yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, we think there's things that God can't do.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we actually put the parameters.
Mm,
Say, you
we
know what?
do.
But he's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. But we're forgetting. I always say, you know what? Look around you. Like, how does someone know? We all didn't know the jacaranda would be purple, while the other tree is orange, and the other tree is yellow, and you're like, oh, how has this been done?
Very specific.
Like, who's doing this? And, and the seasons, and you know, it's October, it's all purple and stuff. It's just to show
well
that
neated,
you know what, guys, God has it all.
He's actually in control.
There is nothing he cannot do.
Very much in control.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the smallest things, because I think, like what she's saying, we're looking for the grander, bigger things.
We are.
Like this one you get Tigaiga,
Yeah.
Not testimony time.
Yeah, going to know.
2 minutes.
Exactly.
But even like what she's showing today, it happened at work, and in that moment, God showed up.
Yeah.
And I do believe you, Shop Even for our viewers who are listening and watching, and so people can watch on YouTube. We're also on Amazon. We're also on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Spotify. So you can't give an excuse.
You
can't give
can't.
an excuse.
Well, you guys are big now. Yeah?
We got it prophesied. we are big.
You guys are big
We are
now.
big.
You guys are big.
Yeah.
I
So
hope to
we
come
want
back
you to
again.
add onto our Spotify playlist.
Okay.
We have a very good playlist where our guests add a song or contribute a song which is part of your playlist now. So you're gonna mention the title of the song and the artist, and we'll add it. And also put the link when we post the episode link. We then mention that these 2 songs were added to the Spotify by our guests. So, Paida, you can start.
You know what? It's the wildest and weirdest song, but you know what?
Yes.
It's by Baba Charamba,
Okay.
and it says Zakashika Kuno.
Okay.
So it's Nyasha Zakashika Kuno. You know, I've just been replaying it. I've never been in a Charamba.
You should look at Anis. Like
Just be-
we had a Baba Sharaba like Baba Sharaba Panapaga.
That's why I had to mention that one. You're like expecting.
They're expecting.
Baba Sharaba just
Yeah.
But it
landed.
was either Baba Charamba or Dab Fraser. That's how wild and weird I am, you know. But it's
Okay.
Baba Charamba.
Baba Sharaba,
Zakashika Kuno.
Zakashika Kuno,
You know,
Nyasha
it's
Zakashika Kuno.
it's Nyasha. It's just the lyrics to say Nyasha Zakashika Kuno.
Mm.
You know, it just resonates with what we've been talking about this whole time.
Yeah.
To say
Yeah.
why we're saying Zakashika Kuno means, you know what, Zanga Zisimboripo. You know what, but because of God.
Yeah.
And we're here now.
We are here now.
And you know what? And I feel like it's everyone at some point can sing the Zakashika Kuno song. Whether you've passed your exams, Zakashika Kuno Nyasha. Zakashika Kuno, we're celebrating a passing of exams. You're celebrating a newborn baby. Nyasha Zakashika Kuno, you know what? You got married. Nyasha Zakashika Kuno, there's always something to celebrate God for and to thank God for. So, you know, that's why I've had to pick that one. And, you know, talk about it. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I'm gonna look for that on myself.
The pressure.
Zakashika Kuno.
The pressure with Baba Charamba, the pressure.
The pressure.
The pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. You know what? I think because of what we're talking about as well. We now, you know, emotions and stuff. I think the song that I would probably go for, that I've been playing a lot lately, is by Tatenda Group here, Yusuf Group here,
Okay.
Shamari Epejgo.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I think it's such a well written
All right.
and such a beautiful song. Because it just literally tells you that God is your friend, right? So what we're doing here, laughing, whatever, you can do that with God. Yeah, you can then tell him your problems, you can tell him your issues. He's just a closest friend that you can ever need, and people will leave you. Saying a lot.
People will leave.
How long is this podcast?
No, but please go on. We are on to our last segment, so that's
Okay.
our Spotify
Okay,
part,
it just
yes.
reminded me, like crusade. I think on Friday night, or no, Friday, Saturday night, the preacher preached on how God loves people, and he would give examples to say a lot of things happen because we are human, and he kept on saying, Tirivanu. That's why certain things happen to us. You know, why are they ignoring me? Because they're human. Why he is the pastor only friends with? He's human, you know. But God loves people. In everything that we do, God loves people. So it just made me think of that song because he's the closest friend that you ever need. Please go and listen to the song. It's such a beautiful song. And it's sad we're coming to the end of the podcast.
As you can see, the timekeeper is really making
Like
signs.
how?
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, it's such a
Yes,
beautiful
this is
song.
nice.
I always listen to it, and every time, whether I'm happy, whether I'm sad, It's such a beautiful song. So,
Tawanda
yeah.
Group, you know, right?
Tawanda
She's
Group.
usually my song.
Oh
my
yes,
music.
I'm a
Is
plug.
it?
Yeah.
You
No,
get
she's like, you know
the.
what?
Yes.
Oh,
Like this
okay.
one.
I'm actually
Guys,
no.
be have a plug
I'm actually
for
impressed.
music.
No, I have it on my playlist as
You
well,
know
and
what?
I'm
But
impressed.
You didn't share with me.
I didn't share with
You
you
did
because
not.
it's been playing on Instagram. Like, until Shalom Arkuimba. So
So you're discovering it now.
No,
She hadn't shared to you.
no, she had.
no, I didn't.
She
I
hadn't.
didn't. But I'm actually
usually
impressed.
she's the one
I'm
who shares
impressed
the
because
song.
it's actually a good song as well.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful song as well. Yeah. Zakashika Kunindi. Yeah. It's in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yasha
Pretty
Zirimo.
much. It's Rimo.
Tap it.
Yeah.
Tap in.
Tap
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Tap in.
Yeah.
Mm.
Tap in.
Tap in.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much.
Mm.
So it's been a very good episode.
Yeah.
Look forward to having you again.
So many times.
So many
and
times.
Once, not twice.
I think not even 5 times alone. Like
No.
literally,
Yeah.
we have had, I think, one of the most engaging and entertaining episode. Thank you so much. It's been a very
okay.
beautiful one.
Yeah.
Even
Sue.
she had to come. Miss Dulani's around. Thank you for
Ah,
coming. Just
you
to
guys.
watch the recording.
Wow, you
Mother
guys
is in
should
the house.
see
Imagine.
the audience.
Big
My
Nate.
father is in
Big
the
Nate
house.
is there is everyone here. Come on, Shumba. So no, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this again. Guys, please do like and subscribe to our podcast. Thank you guys. Cheers.
Thank
you for having us. Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.